Alright, today is Tuesday, February 14th, 2012. It's 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, and there is a lot going on, so let's get right to it. Start off with the S&P's cash market, and let's take a look at what is going on here. So you can see markets are pushing up into an area of heavy resistance, and the market is paused at the moment. So there is, in my opinion, an equally likely chance of us blowing through here or reversing at this point. So I'm looking to hedge up a little bit through my positions and try to work from there. So if we do pull back, I'm looking for the 1325 area for a retracement. At that point, I'd look more bullish again and look for price to continue to the upside. Of course, if we continue, I do have my bullish positions on, and that's not a problem either. Okay, so in terms of the actual stocks I'm looking at, Lennar, LEN, this had a beautiful breakout, multi-year breakout, cup and handle, inverse head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it, but there's a base here. Price is trading above this base, and I've been long for quite some time now. I'd like to see this get going sometime soon. Unfortunately, we haven't seen that just yet. This is a 5-year weekly. Let's take it down to a 2-year daily. Right now, my stop is sitting just below the breakout candle right here. I'll look to adjust if I get some more price action that confirms or encourages some upside movement. But for now, it seems like we're just kind of trending sideways, moving probably with the market. If the market does continue to go higher, this should break higher. Again, if the market pulls back, then we may just sit or come back to retest support at around 21.5. In terms of targets, I'm looking for about 27.5 as a first target. Might unload half or take full profit. We'll have to see, but that would be the first place where I'd look to take off a position. So either the stop or this. Also, if you notice, your earnings went by recently, so we don't have to worry about that for a few months. That's always, encouraging. Next position is going to be Research in Motion, RIM. No position on here just yet. I may be looking to get something on at the end of day today. This is a 5-year weekly. You can see the stock has taken a beating, really. We can actually, in fact, go and get rid of all these drawings. Next earnings cycle is about it's about a month and a half from now, so that is well out of the way. That's always good, and pretty much is looking for this stock to continue its decline lower. So let's take it to let's look at the 20-year just to get an idea of where we're trading relative to everything else. So you can see we had a decent level of support through here. We're trading below that now, which is troublesome for this stock. I do think maybe we're headed towards maybe the $10 mark, something of that nature. But let's take it down to a 2-year daily just to get a glimpse of what's going on in the lower time frames. So this is the level I'm looking at for the breakout. Again, if we can close today, so 3 o'clock comes around and we're trading below this level here, I'll take a short position, put a stop just above today's high. This will be the first target right here, about 1250, and then of course we just discussed 1050 as the next target. So it should be a nice little risk to reward ratio, and this should allow me to hedge up on my long trade as well. Alright, so that covers it for the 2 stocks that I'm watching. So I'm already in Lennar, up in profit. I have a stop, above break even, and this one would be an entry as the markets are kind of uncertain right now, and this is showing relative weakness as well. Alright, let's look at FXE. So before we get into this, let's look at the euro. Again, FXE is just an ETF that tracks the euro US dollar. Let's take this out to a 20-year monthly. And this doesn't help us very much. Let's take it to a 5-year weekly rather. So you can see, you can call this perhaps a giant head and shoulders, whatever it is. We did break down. We had this trend line coming through here, and we have come back to retest the underside of the trend line. What I'm looking for now is some solid selling to indicate that, okay, sellers are back in at the market. This is an area of heavy supply, and in fact they do want to offer this lower. Let's move down to a daily time frame. This is a 2-year daily. So this was the rising trend line. This was the reference for the buyers. As you can see, today's price action is trading well below that. Again, the close is still a few hours from now, but if we can maintain that, I think this is the first hint that in fact sellers are in. And from the way it's looking right now, let's take it down to a 60-minute chart. It does in fact seem like price is going to break down until perhaps this area down here. Now the reason I'm targeting that area is simply because the price moved up and we were in this range for quite a bit of time before breaking out. At this point this was a false breakout because again we can see that we did break back inside. So naturally I would assume that price is going to come back to the next logical place of support where we saw prior demand, which was roughly this 30.5 level. So I'll be looking to take profit here. I have a short position on here from up here, or I'm sorry, rather from up here, and I'm well in the money. Stop is sitting above this swing point, looking for price to continue on down and hit this target. So that is the actual directional play on the euro. I have an option strategy on. I'm trading a short straddle here, trying to do these on a weekly basis now. And for this, pretty straightforward, similar deal. Might just be easier to show it on the euro, but the 130, 133 strikes are of interest to me. Again, picked up some premium on those. So as long as we, by end of this week, as long as we're trading above 129.5, I should be okay. Just be easier to show you on the euro. So as long as we're trading above roughly 129.5, all is well. Now, that 129.5 on the downside, and what I'll do is I will mark these in a different color so that it's easier to see. What's going on here. So let's pick orange for this, and then we can also make it a dashed line. Alright, so this is going to be the bottom side. If I copy this and then look to project it to the upside as well, we can get an idea of what range we're working with here. So duplicate that one, and that would be 133.5 roughly would be upside. So you can see here, these levels. Obviously, if price was to capture one of these levels, it would have to break out of this consolidation, and really price would show its hand at that point. So this is a completely separate trade. Looking for price to mean revert between these levels. What else are we looking at? Also position on cable GBP/USD. Similar to the euro directional trade, it's a little bit more longer term. So looking at a weekly chart to make this trade. You can see here we have whatever you want to call it, head and shoulders. It doesn't matter what you call it. The point is we're making a series of higher swing highs. Now we're making a series of lower swing highs. Price came up, put in a reversal bar at an area of supply. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this chart. And okay, good. So if we drop in some lines here, let's drop in a line roughly at this point. This was an area of supply. You can see price came up, got rejected, pushed lower, and then early this week we actually made a lower low on this candle, which is, in my opinion, confirmation that indeed there are sellers, and I'm looking for this level down here to take profit. Notice here we do have a rising trend line, we do have horizontal support, so this would be a good level. Now if price did break this, I would probably re-enter the short for an extended move to the downside. Let's call it 145 for the target if we actually do in fact break down. Alright, but for now this is it looks pretty good. Let's go to the 2-year daily. The stop here was very wide. I wanted a 3-to-1 risk to reward, so I looked for a near-term stop. And that for me, if we take it down even further, let's look at a 60-minute chart. That happened to be this swing point right here. So as we push below here, I felt that this was a confirmed breakout. As price pushed back up into this green line right here, take a short position, put a stop up here. As you can see, I took some heat on it overnight, but again, the overall trend did in fact stay intact, and we are now trading below those levels. You can see we have a little bit of a pocket of demand here, so we're kind of struggling with that at this moment. Once we do break through that, this is the next logical place. Or sorry, we have some support through here, but again, on a larger time frame chart with the weekly pattern intact, and we can call this head and shoulders. Even if we were to take the measured move as a conservative target in this case, we could use that as a method to gauge price movement. So if this is a breakout level, we look at a move to the downside. 155 would be a conservative target, but I do think we'll see a little bit more than that. I'm just going to make sure that's everything I needed to cover. Alright, one last thing, I want to look at gold. This has been an interesting one for a few reasons. So let's just look at the weekly chart real quick and start to work out from there. Again, extended. Well, I mean, it's not really extended; it's a trend. So nice swift move to the upside here. As you can see, we're respecting this trend line, and let's see how this parallel looks over here. Okay, so not too much there, but I'm just curious to see how that looked. Anyways, so what we do have here is a falling wedge. These are fairly bullish. As you can see, price did break out on nice momentum. We have since started to pull back here. And if we take the measured move, which I have done, simply just took the, move this around, from this high to this low, measure that out, to put it on the break point, and then from there we can predict the upward price movement. So you can see there that this extends up to about 195, and chances are if we hit 195, 200 is definitely in the cards. So the stop is currently sitting below the low of this weekly candle, so around 160. Entry is about 167, and taking just 30 cents of heat on that so far. And then of course target is 200, so this I could be holding for a while. Same with the cable trade, that should be on the book for a while. And we'll see how this goes. Now again, this also another reason to take this is it it is a hedge. If the markets start to collapse, perhaps the gold, precious metals do pick up a bid, and that might help push this along. But I think the fundamentals on this are good. The trend is still intact, and really there's no reason at this point, at least, to overlook this trade. So that pretty much wraps it up. Probably the busiest it's been in a while, and maybe not in terms of the market movement, but definitely in terms of positions I have on, starting to be a lot more active in the markets. And hopefully the goal is to manage each trade individually and to manage risk accordingly. That way, at times different trades will counteract one another, but the reasoning for each trade is individual, and so it'll be treated as such. Anyways, hope trading is going well for you guys, and catch you in the next update. Thanks for watching.